Greetings superior beings, greetings supreme being. In this video I will warn about what I think will be the Jesuit pedophiles' method to create World War III in reality, so people can think about how to prevent a planned world war under satanic depopulation in violation of the Genocide Convention to create a satanic new world order. Of course, all Freemasons are in reality satanic. They are worshippers of Lucifer, Satan. So all Freemasons such as Breivik are Satanists in reality, and they're less than 1% of the world's global population with other groups together. The Jesuit pedophiles that have tortured my mother to death with HAARP are of course planning to create a depopulation to 500 million and endorse a satanic new world order and one world religion, and they have a satanic inner core in reality. And their hybrid insects are real SRA, SRA, satanic ritual abuse. So the point was World War III strategy of the Jesuits. I first have to rewind this point. Well, here we can read that's in the article on NewYorkTimes.com. The article, "Compromise may be near for Iran nuclear deal," US official says. No, that's not the one. So they've also changed the article. They've also changed my microphone settings so that one of the microphones that is plugged in is not working. And they make this hum on the recording I'm making right now. Snowden reveals HAARP's global assassination agenda. I already reported that earlier, that Dr. Eastland HAARP patent makes clear they can create a solar storm. Actually, it's the Washington Times article in reality. No Iran deal but significant progress in Geneva of November 12, 2013. They're also attacking my throat to make me cough, and my brainwave and dental torture, and also they've done that to my mother to torture her to death in reality. Greetje Hofman Maliepaard with the cancer quake HAARP, which is supposedly controlled by the Rockefellers, which supposedly also have extorted the Japanese Prime Minister according to sources. So they're trying to mess everything up at the moment because I'm making a video. So their technique to create world war, demanding Iran halts its nuclear program for peaceful purposes, completely in violation of the NPT, letting the peace talks fail some other way. House Majority Leader Eric Cantor, Richmond, Virginia, has already trashed efforts toward a deal, saying that, quote, "any agreement that does not require the full and complete halting of the Iranian nuclear program is worse than no deal at all," unquote. And the 2007 memo makes clear the US has planned to invade Iran and Syria to create permanent bases in the Middle East since 2007, including many other countries listed on the memo that have been invaded now. General Wesley Clark's vidcast about it. What made the Nazi Holocaust possible? Gun control. Gun controller. So Hitler and Stalin also first took the guns before the Jesuit Masters World War started. Of course, Obama's Allah ring was another thing I mentioned in the previous video that was erased because the audio was not on. With the letters Alif Lam Lam Ha on it, not the Shahada. And Barack Obama made clear he keeps all military options against Iran on the table, according to another article you can find online. So the goal is creating a world war while pretending they want to create world peace. They have a universal war policy, which is secret, and an open world peace policy, and pretend to be a religious order, while in reality the Jesuit pedophiles, which are famous for the pedophilia and the torture devices on YouTube, the directed energy weapon torture with the cancer quake HAARP in Alaska, have an open false world peace policy. Other thing, the Rockefellers allegedly control the cancer quake HAARP in Alaska, and of course together or under the Jesuit pedophiles they may have financed World War II as well with the Rothschilds, and their eugenics genocide program is real, I can confirm that. And there are sources that claim they've extorted the Japanese Prime Minister, and they've done lots of other things with the cancer quake HAARP in Alaska, Nikola Tesla's stolen death ray, which may have been used to kill Nikola as well by people with time travel capability that may have planned a satanic Luciferian negative dystopia after depopulating to 500 million and sterilizing the rest and brain controlling them with synthetic telepathy, so they do everything they want them to, while pretending that they are against an attack on Syria and or Iran. They are orchestrating it and creating it. They use the method problem reaction solution, and then they can say after the Third World War, I am for a new world order to prevent the world war, to keep it clear, but their plan is first depopulating, creating world war using problem reaction solution, and then saying to prevent a fourth world war we must create a new world order, global government, which they already have in place basically. So that's their goal. Their satanic pedophiles that have tortured my mother to death with HAARP, in reality pretending to be nice Christian people like my mother, and they've sworn to kill all Protestant Christians in the extreme Jesuit oath you can also find in the Library of Congress. I think HAARP is still on and used to torture 99% of the world's population to death by creating a solar storm, as described in the Kill Dr. Eastland HAARP patent, or with slow and soft kill methods described by Bilderberg. Well, not described by them, but their methods anyway. So how do we know about slow kill and soft kill? Also via Alex Jones. Their slow kill brain eating vaccine injections were Google search #1 and are also absorbed through the Ebola chemtrail fallout, CIA's evergreen air, cloud seeding patents, cancer causing barium, and then granting legal immunity to genocidal companies Monsanto and Baxter. Monsanto GMO food as a weapon, and they've made aluminum resistant seed to make an illegal monopoly to put all other farmers out of a business. So the Monsanto people want to have a monopoly. In reality that's what they've made clear they want, that's what they're going for. What was the other thing I said on the previous video? I sometimes do this yoga head roll exercise because they're locked in on the brainstem. Oh, that's another important part I could put in it. Resistance must make Tesla plasma shields, see video on YouTube, and make them available to consumers so they can protect themselves against the illegal scalar weapon attacks. Another important point is, unbeknownst to victims or their loved ones, HAARP projects ultra high powered radio waves. These waves operate at the same electronic frequency as the truncus encephali, or brain stem, selectively inducing deaths seemingly by natural causes, including by some appearing to coroners as innocuous as strokes or heart attacks. So the idea was the doctors have to find a way to prove electronarcosis before they are killed themselves. Snowden sunshine. It's sending ideas in your own inner voice and controlling your emotions. It's called synthetictelepathy.com. Silent sound patent. Dr. Patrick Flanagan's neural phone to send ideas in your own inner voice. And lately they've been experimenting with turning that around, basically. So then they turn your own inner voice into one of their voices in reality. So it's very advanced, and the things they've done to me in the past, to torture me and my father to death with centipedes, for example, may be done to all of the survivors of the planned World War. They've definitely tortured my mother to death. They let my voice fade now. They do that with HAARP. So perhaps they're trying to help me to get a fair trial, to catch the perpetrators that want to kill you all, and expose the people that have planned the genocide with their book quotes, their genocidal illegal book quotes on universalpeace@gmail.com. Another thing that someone else wrote that I found interesting is, I think there won't be an agreement, not because of Iran, but because Israel and Saudi Arabia want war instead. More inspectors have been in all the Iranian sites than have ever been to the Mona in Israel or in any US sites. Alright, that was the other thing I was explaining in the other video. They've made sure that there's no audio on it by blocking one of my microphones in reality. Jesuit genocide continues. Pedo fat man on little boy, names of nuclear bombs used in Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Thermite, a patented form of thermate, explosive used by Jesuits to demolish WTC, analyzed by Dr. Jones, not Alex Jones. These names were chosen deliberately by them. Terrorists with HAARP have planned a coup d'etat, continuity of government, precognitive, Project Cable, Splicer, Rex 84, the illegal BFSA, NDAA, and kill switch, kill list. The BFSA blew for situational awareness, labeling all US citizens as enemy combatants. Clearly illegal laws, and the President may not circumvent congressional laws with signing statements, which is the case with the NDAA, illegal NDAA. Destroy cancer mesh, destroy local cancer area networks. Lance. Kill anyone involved with their illegal eugenics genocide before they kill us all. And the other thing that I was looking for, I haven't found yet. Logic 999, I think Iran will not halt its nuclear program, and the US will attack Iran to create the Jesuits' long-planned Third World War, to kill 99% of the world's population, to create a systemic new world order. Did you know all Freemasons worship Lucifer, Satan? I think it's illegal to bomb the people that pretend Iran may not produce nuclear energy at all. If any to prevent the Jesuits' planned Third World War and create universal peace. Whatever. What made the Nazi Holocaust possible? Gun control. So Hitler and Stalin also took the guns. I think I might have told that already, but I'm re-recording this video, so they're effing everything up, or at least they're attempting to do so. Perhaps I should just relax, basically. Take something to expand my consciousness. So get storable food, rice and peanut butter, and a radiological water filter, and if possible a Tesla plasma dome to protect against their scalar World War beam. I'm SRA, Switzerland is neutral. Your country may not be. So these are ideas the supercomputer may have sent. In my own inner voice I realize it now. Tiny giant corporation rule. Copying is not stealing but a form of multiplying. Erasing is stealing. WMD, MAD industry, Google, Rockefeller, HAARP, torture, eugenics. Better check if the illegal cancer quake HAARP was really shut down like they claim. I think HAARP is still on and used to torture 99% of the world's population to death by creating a solar storm, as described in the killed Dr. Eastman HAARP patent, and that HAARP was never switched off. The Gen X movement. X chromosome. This is all not what I'm looking for. Resistance must make Tesla plasma shields. Do not attack Iran to avoid a world war, antiwar.com, and don't attack Iran.org, whatever. 1. Iran has allowed inspections and agreed to keep enrichment below 20%, so the idea that Iran would be creating a nuclear bomb is clearly a preposterous lie, concocted to create the Jesuits' third long-planned world war to depopulate the earth to 500 million, Georgia Guidestones without graffiti made by anonymous are still standing, and create their satanic New World Order. 2. Israel has several missile shields, including the Iron Dome, which are able to ward off intercontinental ballistic missiles, so Iran cannot pose a threat to Israel, not even with nuclear weapons, and preventing a third world war is therefore much more important. 3. Israel has nuclear weapons, dolphins, submarines, so sanctions against Israel, not against Iran, would be appropriate. The Samson option is no joker. Do not attack Iran to avoid a world war. War of the Words, Drone Crash, Universal Peace at gmail.com. Pussy Riot should be released or Putin is a troll. Universal Peace at gmail.com. They didn't even burn a church or anything, so they're insane basically. And the Jesuits control both sides, so they also control Putin, not just the Psych Obama troll and the Rouhani. had the Muslim Brotherhood or something controlled by the Jesuits, which also control both sides. The KKK and the Black Panthers are both financed by them. And then there was that ground detonator thing, Hiroshima and Nagasaki, where they blamed it on the miracle of the Virgin Mary that they came out unscathed at ground zero, those Jesuits that have done it in reality. So usually they try to work from behind screens and stay out of your scope, sight or whatever. Perhaps they drive around in bomb-proof Mercedeses and all those groups together, including Bilderberg, the 1%ers. What they mean is that they're less than 1% of the world's global population. Bilderberg, CFR, Trilateral Commission, Freemasons, Knights of blah blah, Rockefellers, Rothschilds, all of them together are less than 1% of the world's global population. And so are what they call the Jewish people. And there is a thing in the Talmud though that I might be able to find. Oh yeah, lay off Iran, foul, lying, stinking psychobama troll, or else. Or please do not attack Iran, Mr. President, so my mommy and daddy are not annihilated in the Jesuits' third long-planned world war to depopulate the earth and create a satanic new world order. Hail the Obama Jugend. I'm hailed, so Obama has the Allah ring with the letters Alif Lam Lam Ha on it in reality. And their hand signal is the same. Hitler made this hand signal himself. There's a picture of that in the archives in Germany. And so the Obama Jugend, what they call the Obama Youth Brigade, has the same hand signal. It's very interesting. And then their healthcare logo is also the same as the Nazi logo, with the wings on top and then underneath a circle with the Nazi logo, which is now the Obamacare logo, the End of Life Order, World Order logo basically. And the other thing I said on the previous video was that 95% of the Americans want cannabis legalized, according to the CNN poll. You can also see on YouTube. So I'm for legalization of the holy herb in reality. If they really inhaled it, then they wouldn't create a world war and destroy the US for the satanic new world order. And they would understand that's not the way to go, that the risk of mutually assured destruction is too big. They'd better make an agreement with Iran that is reasonable. And I think that demanding that Iran halts its nuclear program is not reasonable, because according to the NPD, of course, Iran has the right to produce nuclear energy for peaceful purposes. It's literally in the NPT, and that will be the technique, the strategy they will use to create a world war. So they expect Iran not to halt its nuclear program, and they might make the unreasonable demand that it does, and else they might attack it, which would be in violation of the Prevention of Nuclear War agreement as well. So people that want to do that have to be shot down. The planes must be shot down, like Zbigniew Brzezinski said. So I agree with him on that, at least. If there's no other way to avert a world war, that's what we're talking about, of course, the preventing world war and creating universal peace, a non-fictional utopian society in which maximum fulfillment is bestowed upon us all, and we are all made eternal. That is what the taxpayer money should be used for, not illegal genocide. There's something else I wanted to look up. So I'm happy that's still in this podcast. Let's see how I look. Well, reasonable. So yeah, I'm still going through some articles. You can always rewind parts of this podcast or vidcast, whatever. But I was still reading this. I think there won't be an agreement, not because of Iran, but because Israel and Saudi Arabia want war instead. More inspectors. It seems that way, but I think in reality they do not, and with wireless energy, electronic voting has become an impossibility, so they can basically make any results they like if it's done electronically, the polling or voting. So in reality the Jesuits are creating that world war, and they want to create the illusion that all the Israelis want that basically, which I think is totally false. More inspectors have been in all the Iranian sites than have ever been to the Mona in Israel or in any US sites. In all the time the Iranians have been enriching, they could have made a bomb anytime they wanted and have not, even with naughty net from Israel threatening them every day. So this is someone else wrote. I didn't write this. I think people don't want Iran to prosper and be competitive. I think the real fear of Iran is on the global marketplace. These people are very ingenious and have developed a lot of stuff even with no one willing to sell them any technology. I think in the end they will be self-sufficient because they have the resources to do so. The real threat in the Middle East is the hundreds of nukes that the Israelis point at everyone, even their friends, saying they will take everybody down with them. Google Samson option. Iran should demand that there be nuclear-free Middle East. Shouldn't the Iranians be free of the threat of destruction from Israeli nukes? This whole question of arms is because of those nukes and the double standard. Why isn't the world screaming about the ethnic cleansing and apartheid applied to the Palestinians by the Israelis? Why aren't there sanctions against Israel for the war crimes it commits? And then I mentioned the bulldozering over Rachel Corrie, the peace activist in Israel. Rachel Corrie with double R, I think. A peace activist that was bulldozed down by an Israeli, not by Netanyahu himself, I think. The world needs to treat all nations equally and fairly. And if they're brain controlled, it's not their fault. Many people have also committed suicide, they think, but in reality they may have been brain controlled totally, and we can always think of the opposite next idea. So that's a very important thing to remember, because it can send ideas in our own inner voice and control our emotions. So it's typical satanic ritual abuse, so you don't kill yourself and you help to create universal peace and turn this world into what it's supposed to be, or at least what we want it to be. Disclosure me. Disclosure me. They don't want you to know what's on your food. No means Snowden, DNA, fluorescent delirium. Shocked to their system. Killed the Rockefellers. Rockefellers burned baby. And then I said it could be one of their ideas they send, basically. It's synthetic telepathy. So I think that the people with the death ray are out of reach anyway. They can kill anybody instantly, and they have a fake facility in Kona open to the public every 6 years, and a real facility in Poker Flats. Poker Flats. Poker Flats. According to sources online, and anything I say can be stuff other people have written, so it's meant not to be taken too seriously. This is pure entertainment, people. can't you see? Well, they're doing illegal psychic suppression, so if you cannot see the future, that might be the cause. But you can do a self-hypnosis, and then perhaps you will be able to have precognitive dreams and fly in your dreams, which can be very pleasant. I liked it, although it did give me a lonely feeling. Did I read this already? Jesuit genocide become in news. Pedo fat man on little boy, names of nuclear bombs used in Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Thermite, a patented form of thermate explosive used by Jesuits to demolish WTC, analyzed by Dr. Jones, not Alex Jones. These names were chosen deliberately by them. The terrorists with HAARP have planned a coup d'etat, continuity of government, precognitive, destroy cancer mesh, destroy local cancer area networks, LANs, kill anyone involved with their illegal eugenics, genocide before they kill us all if there is no other way to help. Okay, well, I guess, was there anything else that I'm forgetting here? There's so many other things. I might make another broadcast when I have something in my mind. So then, what would be the strategy to prevent a world war if they're going to? Well then, Iran could basically allow halting their nuclear program completely, perhaps demanding some telluric power from the Russians that have 27 scalar tips into the Earth's molten inner core with their scalar weapon. Or what's the other thing? The Americans can make reasonable demands and not go down in history as the aggressor country that created World War III, sort of Germany, which might be what they want, to destroy the US completely, which I'm against. So I love the American citizens, and I know that 99.99999% of the world's global population has never tortured me with HAARP. They don't have access to it, though the Satanists might give them the idea that they have tortured me. In reality you have not, because you don't control HAARP, you don't control the directed energy weapon. And they can give you the idea that you can and that you are doing that, but in reality of course they control you and everybody else without a Tesla plasma dome with quantum computers to a great extent, which we have undone with the hypnosis, so their brain control doesn't work anymore, the mind control does not work anymore, unless it helps to create universal peace, make us all eternal, and create a non-fictional utopian society in which maximum fulfillment is bestowed upon everything that lives, including the animals. Because that's logical, and what some people are doing is not logical. And I have to claim that all believers are insane. I'm an unbeliever, so I don't want to be agnostic. If you want to live as safely as possible, you could argue being agnostic is better. But since God does not exist and there is no hereafter, I think we should not lie about it to ourselves, and that it could kill us all if we do. Which is what some people want to do, so whatever. Let's see if there's something else that I left out. The idea is killing the person which tortured my mother to death with HAARP, and not to kill people who did not. So that person deserves the death penalty, and I'm not for doing anything illegal, so hanging the Barack Obama troll for treason, yes, but just killing him and then letting Biden create a world war is not an option for as far as I'm concerned, and I myself certainly would not do that, and I think most people would not. However, if it's to prevent a world war and save your own family and yourself, if you have time travel capability, you might be helping me as well. To prevent a world war, to ascertain your own existence in our future, it makes sense. Well, I go to the next article. In the meantime, I'm scanning the articles. I think I read this as well. Next one. This one's a big one. I can scan through. World War III strategy. The Jesuits are military order first and foremost, and they have made a fortune of the previous 2 world wars already. The goal is an illegal population reduction to control the 500 million people that will be left like remotely controlled slaves, zombies / robots with synthetic telepathy.com after sterilizing them, which will make them more docile, more controllable. I'm SRA. Switzerland is neutral, your country may not be. Wi-Fi spy. Spy with PHI. What made the Nazi Holocaust possible? Gun control, info, wars, collective unconscious. I'm skipping some things that I think are not important and I don't want in the broadcast. I think the Masons affecting your brain. Recovery begins with non-compliance, not to follow illegal orders. United we stand, divided we fall. Resistance to the resistance is futile. If resistance is futile, make our own. Tiny giant corporation troll. Well, that might be something they wrote, basically. I think it's not funny. Copying is not stealing, but a form of multiplying. Erasing is stealing. Erasing is genocide. Erasing is murder. They are not stealing if they are not selling copies. If they really do not want it to be multiplied, they have to create a key for it. Oh yeah, that's the idea. Ideas are bulletproof. CD-ROMs are EMP proof. Obama's secret treaty will merge America into the emerging one world economic system, or not. Oh my god, I'm silenced. Requiem alert. So I'm for raising the marriageable age to 18 worldwide. 1 hours of evidence must testify. Oh yeah, that part in the Talmud. Kill the Goyim, non-Jews, by any means necessary, by any means possible. Hoshen Hamishpat 425.50 Talmud, according to Grenze.com /general86 /talmd.htm. The bigger the lie, the bigger the Schopenhauer. The more truth, the better. Because that's my new clemmer name. The HAARP. DARPA basically. Plasma, the fourth state of matter. I wrote it down because they changed something about it so that it was not read out by the speech engine or something like that, so that you couldn't hear it. So that's why I think it might be something they don't want us to hear or know. And the thoughts generated by our brain that are probably things they don't want us to talk about or think about are most probably our own thoughts. So of those thoughts, it's most probable they're our own ideas. They're not silent sound with synthetic telepathy in your own inner voice, while controlling your emotions as well. That's the Malech patent, and the Hatayama patent explains control of emotions. The main patent is Malech, synthetic telepathy. Organizing wealth care, missing trillion here, missing trillion there. Google it also. Patriot Egg Attack, Patriot Hacked, Gamo, Fair. hydrogen chloride, basically. We are winning the war of terror. It could be one of their ideas, basically. It could be one of them via me. I'm psychic, so basically I can talk along with any person and stuff like that. See the future in my dreams. Anyway, that can be HAARP, so that's dreamland. Theoretically, it can also be because of my self-hypnosis, and it can be the brain's memory of events yet to unfold, according to what we read on Wiki. That's one of the theories about precognitive visions. So the brain is able to remember things that will happen in our future, basically. But how that works, perhaps with hypnosis, we must program ourselves to have these abilities. And I'm programmed to see the way I die, to prevent the timeline, if you will, from ever unfolding, not being in the place at that time, so it cannot be created, basically. If you believe in the concept of timeline, which I don't, because time itself equals energy, but you can see it that way because it's changeable, it is bound by the laws of physics. And one of my new ideas is that creation ex nihilo, from nothing, is scientifically disproven, and also the existence of God by the fact that the amount of energy remains constant. So that means the energy we see now has always been there in reality, and there was no creation from nothing. That's a scientific explanation, and the voice of God programming is real, so I'm not denying that. People hear voices in their skulls of people and computer programs pretending to be entities or whatever. They have to pretend to control the subject to make it do things it doesn't want to do, in the benefit of the controller agents. And this is all just theory, if not reality. Not conspiracy theory, if conspiracy reality. And I think that the Vatican, but according to many people are pedophiles, has made clear that they endorse a New World Order. So then they are New World Order conspiracy theorists, according to the definition on Wiki also. And it's array. If we'd find the real it, we'd be destroyed by it. I don't buy it. Perhaps if we don't find the real it, we are destroyed by it. So I think generally it's better to know more than you can bargain with it, than to know less, which is what some people want to pretend to be able to kill you all. It's part of their eugenics, depopulation, violation of the Genocide Convention, like almost everything it's doing. But they have to maintain the illusion that they want to create world peace, and that they're doing what they're supposed to with your tax money. So there are definitely also people helping me to create universal peace. And actually the 99% of the world's population does definitely not want to be eliminated in the Third World War. So they are also doing what they can to prevent a possibly planned world war. And the opposite of whatever I say might be true, so I encourage people to study it online, the pros and cons, and then make their own decision, or make no decision at all. Stay proactive, do things if you can control the outcome, and not if you cannot control the outcome. Better check if the illegal cancer quake HAARP was really shut down like they claim. I think HAARP is still on and used to torture 99% of the world's population to death by creating a solar storm as described in the killed Dr. Eastman's HAARP patent, and that HAARP has never been switched off, which some people have claimed. So there are people that claim that the Rockefellers have also extorted the Japanese Prime Minister with HAARP, and that they've induced cancer in Chavez, and that they've also tortured Steve Jobs to death with cancer, and they've tortured many people to death, and they attempt to make it look like suicide. So people that have supposedly committed suicide may have been brain controlled and severely tortured to make them do it. And theoretically it's possible that they take out the person's own brain, make them unconscious, and then control the brain during their sleep and then make them commit suicide. So then someone else killed them. In reality they did not kill themselves. And I think you cannot prove me wrong or prove me right at this time, but in the future you might. It is part... I first have to read this. It is part of their psychotic depopulation agenda in violation of the Genocide Convention, their illegal eugenics program, you see. The Russians, Chinese and others with scalar weapons are helping to bring the Rockefellers and others that have helped with the illegal genocide to justice before they kill us all with HAARP by creating a solar storm. Well, I doubt that. I have not seen any signs that they're doing anything in that direction. If they're all brain controlled by them, then basically they're killing themselves and others while they're thinking they're saving themselves. Of course, now this method has been exposed. They might go for a world war and pretend an agreement with Iran cannot be achieved. Well, I think they might have had that plan all along, so that this was planned in 1776. Hitler and Stalin also took the guns. Privacy device. The Gen X movement. Since they want to kill us all, I don't buy any of their lies. Non-electroshock weapon. Eugenics movement passé. Universal peace movement. Universal peace movement is beginning to grow. New utopia. Eugenics. Genocidal trolls must be eliminated for universal peace. I, Ulrich Hoffman, think HAARP was never shut down, like some pretend to hide their genocidal eugenics movement, which will be broken down to the core and destroyed. Not eating them all away. Is there nothing that I can say? Death Ray on. Skunk Works joint resolution. The terroristic shadow government is not in place yet. The Academy Company. Google Rockefeller torture HAARP eugenics. So there were what they called Jewish people that helped round up and exterminate their fellow Jews in concentration camps. Did you know that? Me neither. Eugenics movement in the DOS commandos. Some things are meant sarcastically or as something they think or could think, basically. So NWO terrorists could write such a thing. Evil weapons technology. What are you doing about the public hearing? discount air intelligence. Prana backwards, unharp, harpa, darpa. It's meant in a funny way. Evil geniuses cannot exist. Oh, that's another thing they wrote probably. Resistance must make Tesla plasma shields in bold letters. They don't want you to know they have tortured millions of civilians to death with HAARP, and their illegal cancer scalar HAARP is still on. They are really working hard to cover up Snowden, the sinkhole think tank. Joker Samson option Masada Dolphin Summer Rains. This is not a horror. Wake up or Penny would be Monday wrote. If I don't really understand it, then whatever. An ionospheric heater, okay, alright. But a hater, oh no. Genocide? I'm still there, so I do not believe in slow and soft kill. Snowden, you know. Snowden's solar storm, or Snowden, it's a solar storm. Retargeting. Snowden sunshine. Snowden tall is pretty erotic as well. What idea? Snowden could be one of them, like the anonymous psyop, but I do think there are real anonymouses out there, and that they have to reveal some of the truth that some other whistleblowers, real ones, might be revealing out there. So that's called COINTEL Pro, and the control of the mainstream media by the CIA is Project Mockingbird. And then there is the chemtrails, cloud seeding patent, CIA's Evergreen Air, with their dispersal units also photographed. So many people know the truth about it, and in Zeitgeist they explain that the Christian religion is of course a plagiarized version of the religion of the Egyptians in worship of the fake deity Horus, or Krishna, Jesus Christ. And it's explained also, so there's no doubt about the fact that Jesus Christ never existed in reality, and all religions are man-made and possibly made to play people out against each other. The Muslims also wanted to kill all non-pedocycle Muslims, and they may lie about that fact, which they call taqiyya. So the other thing I wrote, Snowden tall is pretty erotic as well. It's erasing my memory selectively and then attempting to let me recollect it to silence me sometimes. It was the idea that it is now able to change my own thoughts into somebody else's inner voice, but it's also possible that I am able to do that myself because of my hypnosis. The goal is erasing your own memory and only allowing selective memory to create perfect brain-controlled slaves. A quantum computer is then needed by us to be able to remember anything, and synthetic telepathy, of course. That is after destroying the part of the brain that remembers things, which could be illegal, like torturing innocent vegetarian civilians with dental torture. Doing the opposite of what I want can be used to create a genocide, or creating genocide is the opposite of what I want, to make everyone eternal, including myself. People can always decide to check out. I think the answer lies in the telomeres, in growing bodily organs and body replacements that last much longer and are replaceable, and or time travel techno concerning permanent cure against aging, without which we would die. So, well, these are just some ideas. I think the Muslims in more developed countries are not pedocycle Muslims, that they don't have mass weddings where 50-year-old men get married with 12-year-old girls, and perhaps in Gaza they do, but that's that video, The Ultimate Proof Muslims Are Pedophiles, on YouTube, and that's not one I made. And any thought can be injected by them, so I think preventing a world war and preparing for world war is a lot more important than all the other things. Religion is slavery for the mind, religion is an illusion, to quote Freud, and I disagree with Freud. I think that religion is not a form of childhood neurosis, although that's also partially true. I think it's more accurate to call it a form of psychosis, losing contact with reality. Religious people. And thanks to the Zeitgeist movement, the amount of religious people has gone down, so they don't have to do things they don't want by means of deception. Thou shalt do war, or something, that's Proverbs or whatever. It was the former Mossad slogan. And not to fear the enemy in battle. Those are clearly things written to depopulate the earth and make them destroy themselves and create another religious war. Almost. So I'm gonna make some music here, and single women are still welcome. I'm at Prins Bernhardlaan number 19 in Meidrecht. And I can do shiatsu, healing shiatsu massage, and they're welcome. I have free 3D glasses, I can make 3D movies if you like. I'm planning to make a movie, so I'm waiting for a camera for that. And it's going to be a movie about synthetic telepathy, and with the agreements, so that means the Syrian chemical weapons agreement and the Iranian nuclear inspections and keeping below enrichment below 20% agreement, nuclear agreement of Iran, chances of a world war are severely diminished, and by exposing it, chances of a solar storm, not building in ground resistors so that electrical water pumps don't work anymore after that and people will run out of water to depopulate the earth. I think that's also diminished by talking about the ground resistors and exposing their plan, of course. So that people prevent it from unfolding. That's even better than prepare to survive it, which you might want to do anyway, also to survive other calamities, emergencies. So you hear that clicking sound, they're definitely locked in on my thalamus, so I might have to make another video. The previous one was definitely better than this one in my opinion. But perhaps only because I behaved nicer and I was not angry that they erased everything basically. But okay, universal peace now, universalpeace.jimdo.com.